Now we're to my favorite,
Okay.
my favorite part. This may not be your favorite part, but so we're going to do true, false, or pass. So you can either say true, and you can elaborate on this a little bit. You can nuance this just a little bit.
Try to be brief. It's hard for me to be brief sometimes.
Okay. True, false, or pass. So if you don't want to answer it, just pass.
Okay.
All right. So question number 1. You can't build a dynasty in college sports without cutting some corners. Said another way, you can't be perfectly pure and expect to build a championship program. So, the question is, can you do things the right way and build a championship program?
What was the quick? Can you do it or can you not do it? I forgot how you phrased the question.
Yeah, you can't build a dynasty in college sports without.
I would say, as much as I hate to say this, it's true. I think that even today with the portal and the money, it's gotten kind of ugly. I think it would be hard to do that successfully.
Okay, fair. Question 2. College football, and we're talking about the way that it is now, the system, the ecosystem is an unsustainable model. And if changes aren't made soon, people are going to start walking away. True, false, or pass?
True. Quick line, Jerry Seinfeld, comedian, said, all we're doing is cheering for laundry. That's more true now than ever. Players, you can't identify with players anymore because they may be against you next year, or and it's just whatever jersey they're wearing. You're just cheering for a jersey.
I heard a story where a player, before they're about to get on a bus or plane to go play a game, and this is a major college program, said, I need $40,000 to be able to go. What do you do as a coach? I mean, how do you handle that?
Yeah.
And
just the sheer cost of going to games and that stuff, now people have just decided I've got better things to do with my money.
Ticket prices are ridiculous. Yeah. $300 to go to an NFL football game just to get, anyway, we can go off on that. But number 3, a good restriction for the transfer portal would be having to sit out a year.
False.
Okay.
But I think the better thing would be to say, once you commit, it's a 3-year commitment. Have a contract.
Okay. All right. Question 4. If you were a coach, you would rather coach in the NFL than college. True, false, or pass?
Right now, I would say the NFL.
Okay. Question 5. The Iron Bowl is better now being a home and home than it was when the games were played at Legion Field.
Ooh. I'm an old man. I'm good. I understand the reason for home and home, and it's great. But boy, when it was Legion Field and I think it was a lot more fun.
And you're a little bit non-biased with that. I mean, you grew up a Georgia fan. I mean, you covered Alabama, but I mean, like you're looking at it.
When those two bands came in differently, though, and one's playing Yay Alabama and the other, there was just something magical about it.
Yeah. All right, question 6. This is an interesting question. People care too much about what the coaches are wearing these days. True, false, or pass?
Yeah, that's true. No question.
I care about it. I mean, going back to Coach Curry and Pat Dye, I mean, those outfits were just iconic.
Bill Curry wore that Bama sweater. Remember that Parisians was selling?
The bar, the game hat.
Yeah.
I loved it, man.
The lucky black hoodie and all that. And listen, I'm as superstitious of a fan as any. I mean, my family knows if a game's not going well, we get up and change seats, or change jerseys or whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, it's players making plays.
Yeah, fair. Okay, question 7. Print media may be dying, but it does not need to go away.
Oh, true. No question. Mainly just because I think people need to read. I think, I hate the fact that everything's gone audio, which we're doing right now. I've got young people I know, they just don't read anymore. They listen to podcasts or they listen to people talking, and I just think you lose language and you need to read.
Well, I just love having a book in my hand. I love having a magazine in my hand, and I don't think we need to get away from that.
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
Okay, 8. The current college football playoff model is better than the BCS, and it's better than the 14 playoff. True, false, or pass?
Well, it's a complicated question, but I'm gonna say false, and that may surprise a lot of people. But I think, for one thing, bowl games there's no reason to have bowl games anymore. It's killed the bowl system. I think when it gets down to it, we all know who the 4 best teams. Maybe this year we wouldn't have, because we probably would have thought Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia would be better than they are. So it's a great year. But I think most years we know who the 4 best teams.
I like the 4-team model. I like that. I don't love what's going on now.
The first round games and appeasing Tulane and James Madison, we all knew that was.
Yeah.
There other teams should have been in. Notre Dame in Texas or whatever, Vanderbilt. Somebody else should have been in there.
Yeah. All right. Question 9. Something needs to be done to make conference championships matter again.
Yes, absolutely.
True. Yeah.
Otherwise, all they can do is hurt you now playing a conference championship game.
Going back to that 92 game, I mean, that was such a big deal. I was at that game. The coldest there has ever been at a football game. I mean, Lambeau was not as cold as it was that day, but that was a huge game, man.
Yes.
And, and so, and it's like I look at the conference championships over the last few years, they're just not near as big as that game. Yeah. Not even close.
Listen, Georgia this year going to that championship game, all it could do is hurt them. Winning that game meant nothing in terms of seeding for the national championship. They're pointless. It's just an extra chance to get a guy hurt. Carson Beck last year, or year before with Georgia. You need to make them count. Make them the first round of the playoff. Do something. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Something needs to be done. Okay, now I'm going to change gears on you a little bit. This last one's a fill in the blank question. Okay, so this is an interesting question. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. The nicest / kindest coach, athlete, or sports personality that you've run into. The nicest or kindest. This could be an athlete, a sports personality, a sports legend, a coach. Who would you say?
There's a bunch, but Bobby Bowden would be the guy I'd put at the top of the heap. Love Bobby. Had a great relationship with him. Just a great, great human being.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to go interview him at his house in Tallahassee, and
his phone was listed.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I mean, people were showing, how do I get a hold of Coach? Look it up. Back when we had yellow pages. It was in the phone book. I mean, and he answered the phone. Just so accessible.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, we sat on a couch. It was, it was like almost like a little settee, and we're sitting there, and I'm just like, man, I'm sitting next to.
He'd come to Birmingham every summer because he grew up in Eastlake and went to Ruhama Baptist Church.
Yep.
And he would stay out there at this crummy little motel and play at Roebuck Country Club, the golf course out there, whatever it was, because that's where he grew up. He was the most humble, just down-to-earth guy you'd ever meet. And every time he'd see me, you'd think I'd see him after a post game on the field. Hey, here's my guy from Birmingham. Just a great, great guy. Now, and there's been a bunch. I mean, that list could go on and on.
One thing that I noticed as I'm interviewing some of these coaches is there's a moment when you realize that, like, hey, this is just kind of like a normal guy. I'll walk in, a lot of times when I've had an interview with a coach, I'll walk into it and it's like, you don't want to be in awe. I mean, I've had this thought in my professional life is you look people eye to eye. If Saban was sitting there or Bear Bryant was sitting there, Coach Bryant was sitting there, I would look him eye to eye because I'm a professional and he's a professional. But sometimes you walk into situations like that, and there is a little bit of an awe factor there.
Sure.
But I've noticed in every single interview, there's a moment where I'm like, this is just a regular person, and that's a really cool thing. And one of the things that you mentioned about Bobby Bowden, but when I went to interview Vince Dooley, I was like, hey, let's go get something to eat, and I said, let's do like a local Athens flavor. He's driving his car. I'm riding with him. And he was like, let's go to Subway. And I was like, I want to say, no, I don't want to go to Subway. Like, let's go to some place that but we went to Subway, and that was it. But it was like, I'm sitting here eating with Vince Dooley at Subway in Athens, and you just got to pinch yourself almost. Yeah. But he's a normal person.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things that you have to do that. And two things I'll say. One is good coaches are really good recruiters. So they if they're smart, they find a way to put you at ease and make you feel comfortable because they're used to winning over people. But secondly, most of them, came up just like you and I did, playing high school ball, but they were better than us usually. But down deep, they got families, they got kids, they're worried about the same stuff to some degree we all are. And when you get through it, as you said, just sitting having dinner with a guy and not talking about what they're doing as a profession, just life.
Yeah.
Delightful people.
Yeah, absolutely.